A true tank, Ankylosaurus. When will it come to the Isle? Probably the year 2032. We have no idea. It's going to be a long time till we see this bugger. But I can tell you one thing. It's definitely going to be one of the most unique playables in the game. Simply to its slow and steady playstyle, the way it would defend itself, and just its general life. And that's what we're going to get into today. I'll also touch up a little bit on Shant at the end because I wanted to always talk about Shant. I don't really think it warrants its own video. So why is Anky unique and cool? I mean, we can just take a look at its concept art to give us a good idea of what it's gonna be like. We know it will be slow and probably even one of the slowest walkers in the Isle, if not the slowest, as judging from Legacy as well. It was the slowest there. It was always unfortunately at the end of the herd line, and I'm sure it won't be any different here. Maybe a little bit quicker, but not gonna be much quicker, right? As you see in this concept art, there is a theme that goes around here, and if you can't spot it yet, if it's not obvious enough yet, this guy likes to lay down and crouch and kind of curl himself up for protection from any encounter by the looks of it. Apart from Spinosaurus here, surprisingly, the biggest apex on this concept art. Now, it's going to have a few abilities. One will be actually, I guess, pretty much it not being able to even get damage, or the damage will be so low that whilst it's crouched, you just can't do anything to it, which I'm pretty sure won't be the case since that will just be too OP. I'm presuming you have some sort of buff, kind of similar to maybe Cerato has buffs around bodies. Maybe this will have buffs when crouched, so nothing can actually really do much damage to it. Then you have the opportunity to actually, as you can see here against the acros, kind of surprise jump up really quickly and smack up, which is a bit strange considering it is going to be very slow. I guess they didn't really know what else to do with it. That's what it looks like at least. They were like, look, it's got to have a defense ability, probably the most defensive dinosaur in the entire game because of how slow it is. Otherwise, it just will be too boring to play. No one will want to pick it. Even though it might be really cool and its attack might be great, if it hasn't got some really wicked defense that's not just its club, then no one's going to really play it. So why waste time making it? So I guess this is the kind of route, which makes kind of sense, even though I think at the same time, it's a bit odd that something that slow can get up that quickly that you're going to surprise your opponent and hit it in his face. A little bit weird, but it is what it is. I'm not hating on it, just pointing that out. The question is, do you actually think it'll be fun to play? As it just looks so vulnerable. In all its encounters here, as you can see, it's needing to always get in this position where it's hiding, where it's only its armor showing. Is its rest of its body going to be that weak and that easy to just harm? Who knows? There's got to be some sort of weakness, I guess, right? But the strangest thing on this concept art is actually not even on this concept art, but it's on another concept art. So as you can see here, Spinosaurus is the only one that's actually coming straight at it, and Anky's not even doing its normal stance like it is in the other images where it's kind of hiding, like, you need to come closer. This one's already like hitting him in the face. So that Spino's not having a good time. But then in Spino concept art, the Spino is literally rolling it over, which kind of defeats the point, because that's a bit strange, because both sides make sense and don't make sense. Now let me explain a little bit as to why. Because obviously if that's Anky's main thing in defense apart from its club, then you shouldn't be able to roll it over. But then I guess maybe Spino having those big arms, maybe it's one of the only ones that'll be able to do that. I don't know, but then that kind of defeats the point of Anky having that defense, because as soon as you roll it over, I don't think Anky will be able to do much. But then if you don't let the Spino do that, then the Anky's just going to be a bit too OP. Because yes, Acro's also an apex, but Spino is definitely a much bigger apex. And a little side note here, as cool as it is seeing the Anky hitting a tree to get its coconuts down, I really hope that is going to be completely fixed by the time Anky's actually out, because it always seems like any tree that you need to knock stuff off of is always a bit of a bug to it. Sometimes it works fine, but sometimes it always shows that, oh look, 3 dots is here, for example, right? And you go to it and there's nothing there, so it scams you practically, or it just simply doesn't work. It's a bit strange, because I'm pretty sure Trike's meant to be able to do that, and I was not able to do that as Trike. I mean, of course, that was a few updates ago in the horde test, so maybe that's been fixed since, or maybe it was just my bad luck on that day, I don't know. But still, it's something buggy, you know? And of course, Anky will be the only, if not one of the only ones that'll be able to just walk through water, just go underneath it, because apparently of its weight, which is really cool. Kind of like a hippo in some ways, even though hippos can swim. So hopefully Anky will be able to swim too. Maybe there'll be a choice between just being a submarine or a swimmer, I don't know. But if its only way to cross would be a submarine, I wonder how that affect the dinos. dinos? Like, will dinos be able to pull an Anky around if they're in the water? So we all know that now weight is a little bit different in water, which makes sense as well. It's a lot easier to pick up heavier weights in water, so why shouldn't dino be able to have its way with Anky when it's just walking in its own territory, right? And if it was up to me, there's not too much I'd say that I would do different with it. It does seem like one of those playables that it's kind of obvious the direction you have to take it in, and they are really trying to make it a bit more, not just, oh look, I'm a armored herbivore with a massive club, trying to give it a bit more oomph, you could say. But we'll see realistically when it comes to the game how fun it will be. I do think it's one of those that quite a few people are looking forward to playing. I know I am. Is it on my top list? Not really, but it's definitely not on my bottom list either. It's something that I'll be excited for when it actually releases. I'll definitely be jumping on as soon as I could, and I'll be just trying to enjoy it. I don't mind a slow paced game, to be honest with you, because I'm not really a PvP guy myself anyway. Yes, I like to hunt sometimes. Yes, I like to even go a bit aggro sometimes, but generally speaking, I like the more survival side, since that's actually what the game is meant to be, is survival. But walking around when you're going to be so vulnerable at the same time as having such a strong defense, I think it would be quite fun. And it looks like one of those dinos you would kind of want in a herd as well. You have like one Anky there, someone that truly can defend your babies if need be, like in this image here where the little baby Anky is kind of underneath mummy Anky there. I wonder what happens though if another predator is going to come. Like, are you going to be able to sit on top of that little baby Anky and accidentally kill it due to your weight, or is it just going to be able to just chill underneath you and be like, yo, or you're just going to kick it out, like, well, you got to fend for yourself now, sorry mate. How long would it take to grow is another question I have in my mind, because Anky, if I'm correct, is not an apex. Do correct me if I'm wrong here, because I don't know too much about Anky. I have never really played it, and in fact I've never played it in Legacy either. I've only seen it a couple times. I know it's a mid-tier at least. I know it's not like the tallest one, but due to its weight and power, is it considered an apex, or maybe kind of in between apex and mid-tier, like pseudo apex some people call it? Let me know. But anyway, that's enough about Anky Wanky. So we'll just touch up a little bit on Shunt now. The main reason why I want to talk about Shunt really is just because of its sheer size. It's actually insane how big this guy is. Now, apart from sauropods, there is nothing bigger than Shunt in the Isle. Maybe Quetz is taller, like on the ground of course, I'm not sure, but either way, Shunt is massive. I mean, it's massive in weight, length, height. I've said this before in one of my videos, and I wish it was a time that I used to record videos, but unfortunately I wasn't, so I haven't got anything to show you. But I never forget the first time I ever saw a Shunt. It was in Legacy of course, and I was a T-Rex, and I legit thought someone was hacking. I thought someone was like made the dinosaur look bigger, because I've never seen a Shunt before. Even to that point, even me liking dinosaurs for pretty much my whole life, I never came across a Shunt. The closest looking thing was an iguanodon, even though I know they're big, but they're nowhere near the size of a Shunt. So I was like, what the fuck is this? It was huge, and I do look forward to seeing that again, to get that feeling again when you're playing an apex and you're already like, yeah, I'm big, but then you see a Shunt come into and you're like, what the fuck? Because sauropods, they're quite easy to see, you know. You're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We've seen it in Walking with Dinosaurs and all sorts of documentaries that sauropods are big, but these dinosaurs here, they don't really get touched up upon that much, so it's always quite nice to see. They just look like a normal dinosaur. I don't know what a normal dinosaur is, but a normal dinosaur on steroids. But damn, I think Shunts will take even 2-3 hours longer than a T-Rex to grow. I mean, they have to be, right? I mean, the power is insane. The stomps, as you can see, they'll be bringing that back. It looks like they're going to be making it even more interesting. I mean, poor Albertosaurus, I think that is here. Like, its body, you know, its organs are gone after this. If it survives that somehow, it's eaten through its ass. And I like the little cute concept here of, I guess, a smaller Shunt that's fighting off a pack of Omnis with its mummy. It's going to have its kicks, so it's probably going to be like a Maya, but just again on steroids. And you can really see the emphasis of weight for this guy. It's pretty much using its weight for everything. I mean, it's hitting another Shunt here, it's bulldozing whatever that is there, stomping on what I think is an Albertosaurus again and again and again. So yeah, pretty interesting dinosaur to say the least. Is this something that you guys are interested in seeing, or is it something that you're like, I'd rather wait for other stuff to come in? I personally, again, kind of like Anky, I would say it's a little bit low on the list than Anky. I would prefer to see Anky first, because I mean, Jesus, Shunt is kind of one of the dinosaurs, at least to me, that it should be one of the end game dinosaurs, something that comes to the game when we have at least 10 more mid tiers and maybe the core apexes, let's say, because it's just too damn big. I mean, even now with T-Rex and Trike coming into the roster, it's gonna look a little bit alien when you have stuff like that that's so big compared to everything else, Stego being the only one that can match up to them, let's say. But a Shunt will just make everything look tiny. But yeah, that's enough blabbering on. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have a great day and peace.